Shut up and blast.
Anybody who has been on a blast site, or if you're a blaster, you've probably walked away from the job saying one thing: damn, that is loud. So today we're here to kind of talk about a new technology, a new invention that was designed to specifically address that issue of sound at the blast nozzle. And that product is called the Blast Ninja. It was made by OceanIt. I believe they're based out of Hawaii. We'll actually be talking to them later in the week on the Blue Dog Radio. But today we had the pleasure of having Danny Kerr join us. He is the guy that was tasked with testing this nozzle for, I don't know, weeks, months, years, to see how well it would turn out. So Danny, before we talk about the nozzle, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, and your history in the industry?
Well, I mean, like I said, I've been around it for like 35 years. Finally decided, we're going to try to do it on our own. I bought this DV500 mobile behind me. We've been doing it for, 3 years. Got our ups and downs. The pandemic, kind of kicked our ass, but we're moving on. We're not quitters, but it's just, you got to do what you got to do. So
you're using the Dustfree Blastin now. I know we've talked in the past, and you've I know at least used the Empires before, maybe the Schmitz. What other type of equipment have you used?
I've used all types of blasters, and I've worked on them. Like I said, I've worked on reclaimers, blast rooms, Empires, Schmidt, Klemco's, vacuum blast systems, shop peening cabinets, the dust collectors that go along with them. You got the Tort and the cam fill far. I mean, I've worked on all that, the belts for the reclaimers, the augers. Been around it for a while. Just kind of got tired of working for someone else. And the company that I worked for, I loved it. They were acquired by a bigger, more corporate America company, and then we became nothing but numbers. So that was one of the reasons that we decided that we were going to try to do it on our own. So that's where we're at. We're trying to make it happen.
Much nicer too, doing it on your own, and you also seem to have some pretty good help with Logan.
When he's not in school, we do a job on the weekend. I'll let him go with me. He helps me roll the hoses, and I'll let him, if it's not something real critical, I'll let him, blast on it, because he's always wanting to blast. But if it's something real critical, like, somebody's car or something like that, I'm like, nah, you're not blasting on this, because I can't take a chance on warping anything. But the real stupid, silly stuff, I'll let him. He'll blast on it for 10 or 15 minutes until he's like, I'll look up at him, and he'll look up through the hood, and I'm like, okay, you've had enough, because he's only like 10 years old, so he's been doing it for about 3 years now, so nice, he's getting stronger and stronger. So yeah, it's good to have a little helper there. He'll roll the hoses up when we get finished, and he was at one time, he was going to school handing out business cards to the other his buddies and telling them if they needed anything, blasted, let me know. And of course, we got a phone call from the school on that. You can't be handing out stuff like that. So it's fun.
Usually kids can get away with that stuff, but
nowadays kids can't get away with nothing. But
they sure can. I'm glad I'm not still in middle high school age.
I kind of feel sorry with the way things are going, but it's they'll make it. They're strong.
They'll figure it out, just like we all did. So anybody who is questioning who Logan is, if we can get permission, we'll put a video of Logan blasting at the end of this discussion. We'll have to wait and see what
you got. My permission.
Before again we get into the Blast Ninja, what types of nozzles do you typically use?
Right now I got probably 6 like regular Kennametal nozzles. They're just the poly nozzles with the carbide inserts. I have a couple that have the actual brass threads, and then the jacket is nylon. I have mostly 5s and 6s. I do have one fan nozzle that we use if we're like cleaning the floor or something, just, spreads it out a little bit more, gives you more of a blast pattern. I can't go up above like a number 6 because my little 185 that comes with this rig, it won't push it. I mean, it'll push it, but it's hard on it. And I don't like to push the machine that much. If we do anything bigger than that, we're gonna, I've got fittings on my rig here to where I can bypass my air compressor and hook like a 375 or 425 to it and just use the pot, which that's kind of like what we did with, the OceanIt people when we got into the bigger nozzles. But like I said, a fan, 5s and 6s. I did have one number 6 XL that I bought, I actually paid for. And it's pretty good. I like it. It's heavy. It's hard to get in spots. Like if I'm in a truck trying to get up into something, I gotta put one of the shorter poly nozzles on there. Plus I got the pressure down real low. So it's, I try to get the smallest nozzle I can get and the lowest pressure so I don't do the damage. But, that's about it on that. Like I said, and then now we got the number 5, that Logan one, and he uses it when he blasts. So, I'll send you those videos to kind of promote that. So
it's a nice nozzle. I love it.
I like it because it doesn't suck compressor down that bad. So
yeah, So yeah, we're gonna find out some more later this week about the company OceanIt. They're not really in this industry of blasting except for this product they've invented. But I was curious to find out, how did you become introduced to them, and how did they find you? How did that all work out?
Oh, actually, there was a lady named Paula, but she called me and asked me if I could blast some samples that they'd sent over from Hawaii, and they were going to, she said, she called me at first. She goes, it should take you like 4 seconds or 5 seconds to blast it. She's telling me how long it's going to take me to blast it. Well, let me just come over there and let's see what's up, And so I came over there, and I kind of explained, this is, they were using, I think, an Empire pot over there, and she had never seen, the dustless blaster. So I kind of introduced them to that, and we did some of the samples wet and some of them dry. And she was recording all that stuff. And that's, that's basically how she called me. There's a company, can't think of the name of it, but that right now they're leasing a little area from them. And that's where me and JC are doing the testing now.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they're right there by the Hobby Airport, and it was like, I don't want to be blowing, sandblasting over here by the airport because too many city folks. But so now we're out, we're out away from people. We can do it. We don't have to worry about anything. And duplicating some of the stuff that I did with Paula and with JC. So he's taking all these measurements and all this stuff, and he's giving them to her, and she's inputting it into her graphs. So it's come out to be a pretty good deal. But she, initially she just called me asking me if I could blast some panels, and it's worked out there. And I guess they like, maybe they like me or something. I don't know. But
yeah, I've talked to you a couple times, and I think you're pretty easy to talk to and work with.
Yeah, I think I am. I'm not that hard to get along with.
No, not at all.
So, but I did. She wanted me to do, and then also told her, some of the things that, if it was me, do this or this, and we recorded different things. So I think it worked out to be a good relationship.
What were your expectations going into this? Did you first consider the sound really a big problem? And 2, did you think that they would make a difference with a nozzle without, losing productivity with it?
When you're blasted, I mean, you got the hood on, you hear it, but it's not as bad as if you were walking by, and, and that's what they were trying to get at. They're trying to lower the decibels down, which they have. And it's probably 10 to 15 decibels, which is a significant difference. I was kind of, when we went there, I'm like, yeah. There's no way this thing's going to be quieter. And it actually is. It's kind of weird that it does that. It's the way they have the Venturi shaped in there or something. I don't know, that's out of my league, but it actually, we hooked it up and I had the meter there and I'm like, damn, this thing is quieter. And that's the chance she explained to me, like, if we got somebody inside a building, inside a blast room, they're trying to lower the decibels for the other workers. Yeah. And I know they took it to a place, I don't know the name of the company, and they have to let them blast in some blast rooms. And the people are real pleased with it. We're doing it out like if we were in a blast yard. So yeah. I know that they're going to be a little bit different readings just because, inside the blast room, that's going to help with the noise. Yeah. So, but yeah. They're pretty good expectations once I heard it, then I'm like, yeah, this thing might, it might be going somewhere with it. So
what about, the big thing to me is, and I think this is going to be the biggest question mark with everybody, is the productivity. I know of a company recently that kind of scrambled to put their version of this nozzle out, and just heard, I don't know how true this is, but there was a demo somewhere far from here, but they really weren't able to keep up with the productivity that they're used to, even though they were able to reduce the sound. What were you experiencing as far as the productivity with your blast?
Well, she actually let me borrow one, and I went and I had a job. I was blasting a moving van, so I took it and I filled the pot up, and I could run about an hour. So I filled it up and I was blasting it wet. And I ran the Ninja, and I measured it. I can't remember what it is now, but it might've been, just say it was 20 square feet, and then ran the pot dry. And then I put I don't know if I had the XL nozzle then or not. It might've just been one of my regular nozzles. And I didn't run as much. It probably had 2 to 3 more cubic feet more production rate than the other nozzle. It was, it's quieter. It's got something to do with the way the Venturi is in there. Man, you can look at it, you can't tell. I don't know if it's just optical illusion because you're looking at, angles anyways, but it seemed to work a little bit better than the one that I had. Now it works. Now the long XL nozzle that we have, I don't know if I've had a chance to compare it to that yet. I know we did it out there in the field on the sound test and all that, and it is quieter than the XL. Production rate, I don't know. I haven't had another van line to where I could come and do that. I know it's doesn't weigh as much as the XL nozzle. So when I'm blasting those trails, after I do about the first 6 or 8 feet, everything else is done off a ladder. So I'm, up and down the ladder holding this hose up. I want the lightest thing I can get.
What I heard about this other nozzle, the other company that's testing one out, was that they had to lower their pressures to really accent that noise reduction. Were you noticing it actually reduces the levels better at a lower PSI, or just your normal blast pressures?
Well, depending on what we're blasting on, I usually blast 80 to 100, sometimes lower if it's aluminum or whatever. But with the charts that we were filling out, the sweet spot, as I guess that's what you want to call it, was probably 90 to 110, or, about probably 80 to 110 was the sweet spot for this noise. Once you got above that, it would climb, but not as much as the other nozzles. We had a Clemco Clemco nozzle that was, this long, and those things were whistling so bad you'd think an airplane was taking off.
Nice. Well, the one thing I really like, my favorite nozzle, I think I've told you, is the XL, the one that you guys won, the aluminum. And the reason I like that is because not only it's lightweight, but it's long. It's got a really good grip. How would you rate the Blast Ninja as far as, for a lack of better words, technical terms at least, for feel, the feel of the nozzle?
It has a, I don't know how to, it's kind of like a hard, it's a plastic, but it's a jelly like jacket to where you can actually squeeze it and actually squeeze the jacket a little bit. It's not as hard as the Kennametal green ones. It's got like ribs on it to where it's pretty, I like the way it handles, it handles good. It's not just a nozzle on the end of the hose where you're actually holding like the hose, the fitting that holds the nozzle. You actually hold the nozzle if you need to, if I'm blasting up along a windshield or something, I can actually hold the hose and grab the nozzle and go, and almost don't even have to put any tape on it. You can get that accurate with it because it's probably 8 or 9 inches long. You have room to grab it. It's not like just trying to hold a end of a screwdriver or something.
So if I didn't tell you, we got our test nozzle in from OceanIt today, and we'll be testing that on Friday. If you have any recommendations on, I guess, first of all, what nozzle we should compare it to and what type of settings as far as pressures and maybe how much we should dial in the grit.
So are y'all just going to blast like a flat plate?
Yes, we have some powder coated plates. Then we have severely rusted plates.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to use glass, I hope.
Yeah,
or garnet.
We're gonna be using probably 5 different abrasives on Thursday and Friday. Okay. So crushed glass is one of them.
I would probably start with make sure they're both like, what did they send you, number 5?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, make sure they're both number 5s, and then I use like 40-70 is what I use on like frames and stuff. Works good. I'd probably start 80 to 90 psi just to see what's going on with them, and like do mark off like 2 square feet or 1 square foot or something and see how long it takes you to blast that. And then don't touch anything and just change the nozzle out and do the same thing. And kind of like what we did, we blasted the side of a container like that. We marked off a 3x3 square, and JC he's never used a dustless blaster. He's been around blasting a long time, but he goes, "Can I run it?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can do what you want to do." So he was actually doing, the actual blasting on the container. So it as long as you just keep the pressures the same, start like the 40-70. I'd start, 80, 90 psi. If you're going to, you're going to, I'm trying to think, that's about all it really is. Just keep everything the same so you can verify your test. That's document stuff.
Cool. Yeah, consistency. So OceanIt, do you guys have any more testing in the future, or have you wrapped that up?
I'm hoping JC told me the other day that they had ordered 100 nozzles. I don't know what that means. Maybe they're going to ship them out to lucky winners. I don't know, but maybe, I don't know what they're going to do with them. I hope we can get some more. They've asked me some things, if I could, change anything about them like that. And there's a couple of little things that they could do to maybe make it last longer, but it's like anything else. Do you want it to last longer and sell more, or sell less, last longer, or last longer for the, reliability of it? But there's some things they could do. I mean, they could maybe, instead of go with the carbide, maybe put like boron in it or something like that, might wear a little longer. but it's going to shoot himself in the foot, for selling the nozzles. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they plan on the retail for this thing is. Kind of talked to Paula about that when she was there, and had 2 or 3 guys there at one of our test sessions, and they're like talking to her like, well, you can't really you don't want to get too pricey on this nozzle because no one's going to buy it just for the noise. The people that are in the blasting business, they want production. They don't care about the noise because it's, out or in a blast room or whatever like that. People know this is a noisy facility. They want the stuff blasted and out of there, and then, but you're going to have, I think once the word gets out that there is a quieter blast nozzle, things are really going to take off.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like I said, anybody want to look at their websites, they're doing all kind of research and trying to help with the development of, make it like the nozzles, making it quieter, the earplugs. I don't know what they're doing there, but I think they're probably making it to where lowering the decibels and that, maybe a different kind of foam. I don't know. That's something else, but anyway, I'll say hi to Kevin.
Is that Logan? Hey, how's it going, Logan?
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
You
He got out of the pool, so he said, "Let me go put my say hello."
nice?
So anyway, can use any of your videos and
Yeah, sure.
okay. He said, "Yeah, sure."
Appreciate it. You just locked up on me, so
Anyway,
we didn't get his
for me.
response.
Yeah, he tell him. Is it okay for him to use your films?
Yeah.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you can.
Sounds good. We'll use them. Keep making them. Did Logan
Alright.
get a chance to test that nozzle?
Yes.
How'd you like it?
100% awesome.
Awesome. That's great. What about when you first blasted? Did you go to bed and have some severe ringing in your ears before this nozzle?
No.
No. So I'm the only
I had
wimp.
earplugs.
I'm the only wimp here. I wear earplugs and a helmet. My ears still ring when I get home.
Well, mine, being around that thermal spray for 30 years, I think that's what killed my ears. I mean, they're ringing right now, but my wife says, "You can't hear me." I said, "I can hear you. I got selective hearing."
Yeah, that's right. I hear what I want to hear. Well, cool. I think we covered just about everything I wanted to on that. Anything you want to add to it?
I mean, they're a great company to work for. I got to meet the actual owners this last test session we did. The actual owner and his wife and their son came over, and I got to meet him. I'd met the son with Paula was there when we did a big test, and there was actually the Kennametal guy there and a couple other people, and I got to meet the son back then, and that's when he was asking me if there was anything I'd want. After the mom and dad left, they took off. It was too hot for them.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit, and he was about different things, and I said, "Well, do some of that helmet." So I don't know what's going to become of that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm interested. There's always room for improvement in an industry that has so many areas of potential safety concerns. So
Yeah, and it's getting worse and worse.
yep,
So
I hear that.
I more have to listen to the Karens in the neighborhood,
Oh my God. Yeah.
because it doesn't take but one little old lady. You're too noisy, or you got too much dust. I said, "Lady, it's mist. It's not dust. It's water vapor."
They should.
Well, it's
they
still
should-
noisy.
But cops.
Well, I only had the cops call on me once, and they came to the house, but
we
I was blasting some wheels right here where we were, and the fire department showed up, and they're like, I looked up, and the fire department standing behind me. My wife said, it's okay. They just wondered, somebody said that they thought there was a gas leak when I cranked up it was whistling so much they thought it was a gas leak. So maybe the Ninja will help people from not thinking it's a gas leak.
We need to get in touch with OceanIt and tell them to rebrand this nozzle, call it the Karen nozzle. It'll keep the Karens away.
Oh.
It's not as loud. The neighbors won't be complaining.
1 minute 30 is all that it takes to get out and blast, and lots of money you'll make. Just per 90 seconds, give your business a bump. 90 sekundos y